specifically with just talking to you about it, but Virginia's offense. What stood out to you now that you've got a bunch of days here looking at their film? What stood out to you the most?
One thing is that they're a very pro-style offense. So, according to what most people think, is that we mainly see spread-style teams. But this time we're going to be going up against a pro-style team, so we're going to have the game slow down a little bit. I'm sure they have their own tempo that they want, but we mainly got to make sure that we focus on our keys, and they have a lot of things that they do in the backfield that can definitely mix the other team up. So we got to make sure we stay on our keys and do our reads correctly, react when we're supposed to, things like that. So we got our work cut out for us as far as staying focused.
Pro-style offense, but the quarterback's kind of a dual-threat guy. So is it almost like a hybrid pro-style then, in a sense? What is their identity on offense? Because at least in that BYU game, they ran some pistol, they ran some traditional I formation, power formations, and then they spread it out a little bit. So what do you think their identity is?
Well, I could say one thing about them is they're a very run-and-gun oriented team. If they can get that, they can get it deep. If they think they can get it deep, my bad. They'll throw it up to their receivers, let them make a play. They want to pound the ball on the ground, so they can do it, so they want to do that. And the thing about that also is that if you have the short passes, instead of having those max protect long routes, you have a quarterback that can extend plays. So you have your work cut out for you, but the thing is we got to make sure that we're staying on our keys at all times. Our D-line has our work cut out for him because they're going to have to put pressure on him. And when he starts moving, we got to make sure that everybody else stays on their receivers because if they got a quarterback that can extend plays, that's going to make things harder on us, but we need to make it hard on them as well.
They've got that one true freshman in the backfield. They like to mix it up a lot, as you were talking about. Got that one true freshman that was hyped up big time in that broadcast, the nickname Smoke. Does he remind you at all a little bit of DeAnthony in terms of his skill set?
I guess, but to me, I just got to make sure that I treat every player the same. Like everybody that I go against, they're a threat to me. So I got to make sure that, hey, I got to contain this guy. It doesn't matter what he brings to the table. That's what you got to use as part of your game plan on how to stop him. So the same thing that they would do for DeAnthony, I'm sure that we would do for him. We got to watch out for this guy, but you can't focus all your attention on that because then that makes you forget about all the other things on the field.
I know you guys obviously don't control the schedule, but you've been around here for several years now. You've had some seasons where you started out playing LSU at Cowboy Stadium. You've had seasons like last year where you basically didn't leave here until October. When you get a trip like this, especially all the way to the East Coast, a little bit different for you, which do you prefer? Do you like a tough road test like this early on?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially for us playing a completely different conference. But also, to me, these games are a lot more fun because I get to go see my family and they can drive up and come see my games as well. So that's a lot of fun for me. So even though it's kind of an away crowd, I still have a pretty big crowd for myself.
How many people are coming for you?
Well, we have, I think, 26. I had to try and get about 20 tickets if I can. I'm still racking them up, trying to see how many I can trade with my other players.
How many games are they able to get out to here? Have they been to any of them here?
Yeah, they've been to a couple, but not as many as if we have some that are, quite a while away. But as far as, they usually make about three. About three. Yeah, it's kind of far, so.
Yeah, definitely. How do you balance that then? You guys obviously you don't have a lot of free time on these road trips. So you're kind of in and out and you play. But how do you get a chance? When do you get to see them, and how much time do you get to spend with them?
Just after meetings and stuff like that, everybody gets some time to spend with the people that came to visit them, things like that. And also in the morning, since we play kind of a later game, I have time to spend with them in the morning. And mainly I think that it's just fun that they get to see me play. Spending time with them, that also means a lot, but for them, they get to make a really big deal out of it, almost kind of like a family reunion. Like, hey, everybody, let's come together, let's go watch them play. And I think that makes me feel better than for me to be selfish and be like, oh, when can I see them? It's good to see them all just come together and on such a cool event to see me play.
Are they driving up?
Some people flying, some people driving. There's a lot of people.
Who's coming up?
I got cousins from both sides of the family, my whole immediate family. It's pretty much a mixture of
Who are you going to
both.
see that you haven't seen in the longest amount of time, or that you're most looking forward to seeing?
My cousin, my first cousin, he's like my best friend. Him and his little brother. His little brother ended up going to college in Alabama, but he went to college in Louisiana, and I probably see him once every like 3 years or so. And all the three of us grew up like we were all just like a couple months apart, so we were pretty much like brothers.
What's
like,
his name?
Roderick Varner.
Okay.
So like we let's see, we all grew up basically as brothers. We have our own siblings, but we were the closest in age, so we pretty much did everything together. So to see him again, that'd be real cool.
How many siblings do you have?
I got two. I had a brother and a sister.
Are they older or younger?
They're older. I'm the youngest.
And they were both going to be there too, you said?
Yep, they're gonna be there too.
Cool. How often do you get to see them?
Whenever I go home, so like once a year maybe, once or twice.
How long is the drive from Alabama?
I think it's about 7 hours maybe.
7 hours.
That sounds about right. I'm not sure though.
Right. Cool. The other thing too, you guys were in the mode the last couple days. Mark was saying crank up the heat, trying to simulate that. Obviously, being an Alabama guy yourself, you know a thing or two about heat and humidity.
Yeah.
Is that overblown, or is that a significant factor for a team like this that has, where you guys train in weather like this year-round for the most part, and then have to go into a different atmosphere like that?
I would say, according to the way that fall camp was, it was really hot. It was some of the hottest weather that we've had in a while. And then we go into the mode, and it's blazing hot. It's real stuffy, things like that. But I know just how bad that it can get. So for me, I mean, I can't say that I'm going to be used to it because I haven't been there, but I still have that feeling. I know how bad that it can get. So the one thing for me that I tell people is like, man, it is so hot. Like, this is miserable. I was like, hey, man, it can be worse. Like, it can be a lot worse than this. And it's probably going to be better than it is now. So I think the things that we do is that we overtrain, because when we go over there, it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. Like, I would rather have that feeling to go through the worst during practice and then get there on the game and it not be a big deal. And I think that's what they were trying to do. That's why we've been kind of oversaturating ourselves with like this immense amount of heat in there and just sweating it all out and just getting used to it. And I mean, like I said, like I know how bad it can get. I remember a couple of days when I was younger, just being at home, I'd be like, okay, Mom, I'm leaving. I'm going to go walk the dog, You take 2 steps outside, and it's like, nah. You walk right back inside. So, like, it can be a lot worse. I'm sure it's not going to be anything like that.
What were some of the worst memories that you have of playing football in that weather? Do you have any games where you really cramped up and it was just miserable?
See, I never really cramped up much. I've only cramped in one game in high school. That one was a bad one, but that's because we were on defense for forever. I mean, we just had a ton of turnovers and stuff. Like it was a bad game for us on offense.
And you guys are on defense all the time here too.
Yeah, but it was like for that time. I mean, like it was probably like the whole game. I had to go inside and get an IV and everything. It was bad, yeah. But it wasn't really because of the weather. The weather's never been as bad. But then again, in high school, you play night games.
Sure. Yeah. So this will be a little hotter. Are any of the guys cramping up in there just in those 2 days in the mo?
No, I didn't notice. If they did, I didn't see, but I don't think so. They made sure that everybody got water. The trainers were always just like pushing it in their face, like get some water. So I think that helped.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.